Ready to look at it? Good morning. I'll go ahead and call the meeting to order for our supervisors meeting. Do I have a motion to approve the tentative agenda?
So moved.
Second. Any further discussions? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. Betty, minutes from last meeting, please.
October 28th, 2024, the Board of Supervisors met as Drainage District trustees to view the minutes from the drainage meeting. See the Drainage District minutes on the county website. Chairman Huggable called the regular meeting of the Wright County Board of Supervisors to order at 9:06 a.m. Members present were Cluse, Rasmussen, and Huggable. Motion by Rasmussen, seconded by Cluse to approve the tentative agenda. Motion carries. Minutes of the previous regular meeting of October 21st, 2024 were read and approved. Approved claims for payment. Motion by Rasmussen, seconded by Cluse to appoint the following members to the Wright County Compensation Board. Chad Faust for the sheriff, Carol Hopp for the treasurer, Katie Simmons for the auditor, Mike Ewing for the recorder, Gary Berkland for attorney, Carl Huggable for the county supervisors, and Deb Vance for the county supervisors. Motion carries with Huggable abstaining. The compensation board gives recommendations to the county supervisors on raises for the elected officials. Adam Clemens, Wright County engineer, gave an update on the secondary roads. There were 25 work orders completed last week. Blade operators are continuing to clean out ditches with the motor graders, as well as eliminating the wind rows before winter. Crews began mowing the hard surface routes last week, with zone 3 being 50% complete. Currently, both excavators are down, with one needing new tracks and the other needing a whole new engine. Clemens will keep the board updated with total costs and dates to get the two excavators fixed. The Board of Supervisors went into recess until 10 a.m. The Board of Supervisors resumed the regular meeting at 10 a.m. for the public exchange of initial sheriff's collective bargaining Teamsters Local 238 union proposal. The union's proposal was, the proposal is based on the understanding that the current benefits and procedures will continue as they have in the past. All other articles not addressed in this proposal will remain current contract for the duration of the contract. Any tentative agreement reached will be subject to ratification. Changes requested were 6.6J, change 5 working days to 10 working days per county policy on family sick leave. 6.6K, sick leave conversion. Use of sick leave upon retirement, including disability retirement. Employees shall receive credit for all unused sick leave as follows. Accumulated unused sick leave in both the active and banked sick leave accounts shall be converted at current value and credited to the employee's account for the purpose of paying the cost of monthly premiums of health insurance and or life insurance policy. Upon written authority from or upon the death of a retired employee or upon the death of an active employee, the spouse or surviving spouse shall be entitled to the value of sick leave bank in both the active and banked sick leave accounts as converted in the previous paragraph for the purpose of paying the cost of monthly premiums of a health insurance and life insurance policy for the employee's spouse or dependents. Upon written authority from or upon the death of a retired employee or the death of an active employee, and when there is no current spouse or surviving spouse, the employee's dependents who are covered at the time of the written authorization or death of the employee, if any, shall be entitled to the value of sick leave bank in both the active and banked sick leave accounts as converted to in the previous paragraph for the purpose of paying the cost of monthly premiums of health insurance and or life insurance policies for the dependents. Such benefits shall expire on December 31st of the year the dependent attains age 26. 6.8 is change vacation schedule to match the county policy. Article 11, health insurance. Health insurance shall stay within the comparable policy as the 2024 year. Wages, 4.5% increase for each year negotiated for jail employees. The county's proposal was an Article 11 insurance. Replace this article with the following language. The Board of Supervisors shall annually set the health insurance plan design and contribution rates of the employees covered by this agreement. And number 2 was wages. The county proposes at 2% across the board. And 3, duration. This article should be modified to reflect a 1-year contract effective July 1, 2024. Motion by Rasmussen, second by Cluse to move into an exempt session per Iowa Code 20.17.3 for negotiations. Motion by Rasmussen, seconded by Clues to adjourn the meeting, motion carries.
Any corrections? If not, they will stand approved as read. Claims have been around, open forum for public. Anybody here or on Zoom wish to address the board?
Public moment, get your flu shot and COVID shot. For the season, flu season hasn't ramped up yet, but it will.
Okay. Appoint Rick Rasmussen to Emergency Medical Service EMS Advisory Board. Motion to appoint Rick. Is there a second?
Second.
Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. Adam. A few things for us.
Yep. So, we had we scheduled 7, but we had one person pull out of the office manager, position. We, interviewed 6, potential, persons for the position. And have landed on this person proposed to you, on that letterhead or offer. The offer is, $55,000, with, review at 6 months, including also $1,500, and then review at 12 months, another $1,500.
And when will they be able to start?
This person currently works in an office manager position, so they would like 3 weeks. So either the end of, the last week of, November or first week of December.
Okay.
Depending on when we can get, pre-employment physical, drug screen.
So this is all subject to that.
It's contingent upon that, yes.
Okay.
Motion
Go ahead.
motion to approve your hire.
Second. Any further discussions? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay.
Motion carries.
That offer was for the office manager's position. The second item is an offer for truck driver in the Clarion Maintenance Facility. We had probably 7 or 8 also applicants for this job. This person is a previous employee, left on good terms with us, knows everything about the county. We'll have to train them on our new kind of electronics, the way we're doing things, but this person is going to be easily rotated back in.
Good.
Motion to
approve. Is there a second?
Second.
Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Okay.
Stereo.
So next item is the Wright County Road Use Agreement for the seismic exploration. I do have Kyle Handy here today. He said he would be here in person.
Careful when you
Yeah,
slide
watch
under
your
that
knees.
table.
Go ahead and sit.
Your knee,
Yeah.
yeah, on the table. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yep. So, we've reviewed this. The one thing that has been, they have reviewed the seismic agreement. They have signed the seismic road use agreement. The only thing we were waiting on was their map. They did have quite a few miles that were on paved routes. I did have them review that to remove all the paved routes and put on other routes. I did review those routes. They are all on gravel routes. Our county has the highest number of miles, of this. I've read in the paper, the paper's done quite a bit of research on this, which is great, for people to understand. There is a few deliverables that, they have, agreed to. We would like a schedule so that we can put out our road notification tool, to the public and put it out on, it'll be out on, it won't be a road closure, but, we'll post it on our Facebook page and then also get a link to it, so that people understand where they're going. The other thing that wasn't in the first one was we made a decision to stay 250 feet away from any roadway structure. And that roadway structure is anything and not limited to bridge, culvert, tile, intake, or tiles, etc. So
When do you think you'll start?
Our initial assessment was to start in November this month. But it's taken us a little more time to have the permits in place, so we don't know yet, but sometime between this month and February of next year. We'll make sure to, when we actually, so after we obtain the permits in the areas, we'll begin building out that schedule of when we start, when we'll end, kind of a timeline of when we'll be in each county and which road, and we'll share that with the county engineers. Plenty of time, before our operation begins.
I've requested a Gantt chart, so a schedule like, hey, this week we're here, this week, you know, as it goes forward, so we can kind of keep track of it, based on date.
So notification, insurance requirements, and then, submittals, look to me like they're all covered in here.
Yep. As we pointed out last time, I think Betty caught it, that's only 7 days a week from sunrise to sunset.
Right.
They have done other places where they've done 24/7. But I don't think, you said something at the review that rain would cause you to quit, but what about snow? That shouldn't impact your sensors, but obviously we'll be out trying to remove snow.
Oh, rain, yeah, so the sensors are so sensitive that they can actually pick up rain.
Yeah.
Actually, the raindrops hitting the sensors themselves.
Mhm.
That's a good question about snow. My colleague Robert, I think he's not able to get into the call.
He is here.
Now,
Yep.
oh, Robert, could you
Yeah.
speak to?
You're muted, Robert. You'll unmute.
And
There you
Okay,
go.
so the snow will not particularly impact the sensors. They can be buried under snow and they'll work perfectly fine. The only concern is we have to coordinate with the road clearing crews because we obviously don't want snow plows to come through and and plow up a bunch of sensors or bury them under 1, 2, 3 foot of snow if possible. So, but other than that, operationally, they can operate in cold weather under snow.
Yeah, I don't think we would have, so much a situation if you're gonna put them in the shoulder line of burying them. It'd be more like throwing them out in the field when we're trying to do our renewal
Yeah.
operation, so, that's where we would probably try to, correspond and communicate as much as possible during that period.
Yes.
A lady from Webster County, can I talk to you about concerns?
No. I have had, Dean forwarded me a,
Email from,
contact email from one of their county board members, and I gave them a copy of.
he's been
this.
contacted by several citizens in Webster County. He wanted to know if we had had any contacts from citizens that were opposed to this, and I explained to him that we haven't had any. So. We just need our approval on this.
Approve, give myself the approval to sign, essentially, motion to,
I would make a motion that Adam be allowed to enter into a Wright County road use agreement with Twin River Exploration LLC for
I
the
would-
seismic testing.
I would second that.
Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
I,
Opposed, motion carries.
I'll get you a copy of this.
and this is just scaled down version of this, right?
Yes, yep. So, like I said, we will get with them and get their schedule, and then, we do have that road notification tool that we can put out, to the public, to the schools, to co-ops, everything like that, that will know kind of where they're at in the process. If there's any questions.
Perfect.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you very much.
Short, sweet, to the point.
Yes, I appreciate it.
What's that? They're gonna do some testing in Webster County.
Yeah, you guys, can you tell us what counties, Webster, Hamilton,
8 counties,
Humboldt?
so,
I know,
my direction, Webster, Humboldt, Hancock, Hamilton, Hardin, Wright, Cerro Gordo, and Franklin. And, as of today, we have a permit from all of the counties.
okay.
We are working with District 1 and District 2 for IDOT, except for in Franklin County, so we're still working with Franklin County for that permit, so.
All of the county engineers that he named off there had that copy of this. They've either, critiqued it to their use, just because they might not have the same requirements for contractor or,
Yep.
but we tried to keep it as similar as possible just to make it easier on on them and maybe make the process go quicker. After the change, do you know how many miles was in Wright County? Is it still around the 200?
I think it's still close to 240 miles. That's what we had prior to the change, and I think we roughly stayed the same.
Good.
And then just a nice shout out for Adam, it's been an excellent help with us, and all the other counties, working through this quickly, so.
Good, thank you.
Good job.
Secondary roads update.
Guys were out spot blading where they could last week, and then also ditch cleaning, with the graders. We did get a shot of rain, on Wednesday, so the guys were out trying to do normal blading activities on, Thursday and Friday. They were mainly focusing on their limestone or rock roads, just because those are the ones that are, most heavily used. Truck guys were out, last week, doing culvert data, collection. So you can see on the work order, 7205, that Boone Township has completely been, collected by the truck drivers. So they're going out and trying to find anything that is below a 48-inch, culvert, and making sure that we have all the data on those. I know way back when that we did 24 and above, to 48. So we were missing that 15 to 18 realm. But then also anything that's been replaced, we try to keep an update on that. So we're gonna be able to sift through that and then add anything that we don't have onto our culverts app, that we use. It's like inventory management, for us. That way we can document when things are getting, replaced, and then have a history of, drainage area, size, sometimes even elevations if we can go out and get them. They were also, doing the hard surface mowing, and we're about 42% done with that. I think zone 3 is completely done, and about a quarter of, zone 2. Zone 1 hasn't had it yet. They also were doing deep cleaning in the outer sheds, and then we also mounted our winter equipment, last week on the trucks. The motor graders normally get their wings put on, about the week of Thanksgiving. 26 work orders were completed. A lot of the right-of-way ditches, as you can see, and then we've been trying to complete as much of the ditch cleaning as we can. I think we have about 10 to 13 more ditch cleans that we want to do with motor graders. So biggest part of that's been trying to get the landowner signature, just to make sure that they understand what's going on and that work on private property agreement. So I've also created a geo permit. So you trying to utilize the geo permit for our guys, instead of having to take a piece of paper or send in it, they can actually log into the geo permits, create their work on private property agreement, and either take their phone out to the landowner, have them sign it right there, and then it'll email me and I can just get going on it. Rather than trying to hunt down somebody with a piece of paper all the time and having make copies. And so, we're gonna roll that out, maybe this fall, most likely next fall. Just because the guys have pretty well nailed down which ones they wanna get done and taken care of. So that's all I have.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks. Any old, new, or update on meetings, gentlemen?
I had that, ambulance meeting that I went to, went good. And, then I signed a bunch of documents for Udmo on some buildings that we sold. I think that's pretty much it. So I think we got emergency management with, Jerica this afternoon at 4. I think it's here in the supervisor.
Yep. I had Midas on Wednesday. Nothing earth shattering there.
You included, I'm sorry to interrupt, but, you included on the email or the review on Thursday?
For the DOT
Yes.
thing, yes.
Okay.
Yeah. And that's it, for this week. Obviously, we need to, RSVP for the, well, maybe Courtney will cover that in the drainage portion, I'm sorry. Okay, I have no meetings. We will stand in recess until 9:45 for the drainage trustee meeting.
You're up at 9:45.
Okay, I'll go ahead and call the meeting back to order. We'll convene the drainage trustees meeting. Courtney. You wanna bring Brandon in first?
Yeah, Brandon is here to discuss Been filed on his county farm, in the location where the DKM is removing the Northern Natural Gas A-line pipeline. He's got some concerns with the work that was done there. Is that right?
Yeah, so I have some concerns about just how a landowner is gonna approach an issue down the road with work they've done this fall. So, my story is, my dad's got a quarter section just east of Eagle Grove that they took out the A line back in September. When they arrived on the property, I'd given them a pretty precise location of where I knew that there was 3 existing, tile lines out there. Now, according to the documents Courtney got from them, they actually found, I think it was 7 or 8 total on our property. On that side, it was different watershed. I wasn't really pertinent to what was out there. I hadn't dug out there, but I did know where these 3 particular tile was. With that being said, they dug right through it, and they didn't purposely miss it, but they did miss it. And my point is, like, if I would have known, having previously dug out there, that there was existing tile out there, we wouldn't have realized the mistake until this spring when the water starts running again. And this 8-inch tile, I'm gonna guess runs, give or take 50 acres through it. And it was 100% cut off, and we would have had some major issues, obviously upstream in our tile. And my worry is that these guys say they'll fix it, but I don't think they're gonna be around here next spring. They're gonna be further up north, but they're not gonna be around here. And as you guys know, when it's time to plant, it's time to plant. And if you have a serious drainage issue, like a 100% blocked off 8-inch tile that's draining 50 acres, that doesn't just dry overnight. I just don't think they're gonna be able to get down here right away. So from a landowner's perspective, I think something they need to be talked to again. And there needs to be stipulations put in place for reimbursement to the landowners. Because inevitably, it's gonna be a local contractor that's taking care of it. I truly don't think they're gonna be around here just waiting for phone calls, to go take care of a tile. But I think, it should be put in writing that, if they're not able to get to it within a timely manner, because they could say they get to it, but that might be 3 weeks down the road. Right. We can't have that. And then also an issue with, how long are they gonna be covering their fixes? Because I observed how they fixed a couple tiles on some adjacent properties of ours. And I truly think there's gonna be some settling of the tiles, just the way they're fixing them. They might work good for a year, but eventually there's gonna be some settling. And just simple math, if you take a 4-inch tile and it, settles by an inch, or, if you take a 6-inch tile and it settles by an inch, you're talking the flow of that tile is forever decreased by 20-25%. And if they truly say they were gonna put the tile back the way that it was before, it's gotta be perfect. When you're talking inches, that's really important. So just something I wanted to bring up to you
I
guys.
appreciate that. I saw the pictures.
Yeah.
And I got a call into Aaron right now. And I'll talk to him, say we had some concerns. We'll try to get him back in here.
Yeah, I just.
They're really solving it now, they're still around.
Yeah,
and
I don't know, what their agreement is with, I think that was Northern Natural Gas. And so then it will go back on Northern Natural Gas easement but yes, that's something that we need to talk to him about and get figured out. Absolutely.
So that would be a question to ask him too, because this is my interpretation of it. This is just hearsay, but I was under the impression that Northern sold the easements and the rights to the pipeline, essentially wiping their hands clean of it. the whole thing.
See, I
So-
thought they just sold the pipe for.
That could be,
So I
that could be,
wasn't sure,
again, it was just here, I could be wrong.
But I'm not sure either.
Could be wrong, but it's a question that needs to be asked, because I was under the impression that the easement and the pipe were all sold, so basically Northern would be wiping their hands clean of it. And if that is the case, we're gonna be going after a company that's from Texas. Northern has a presence around, it'd be a lot easier to go after them if there was a title issue. You know, that
Right.
they're guys.
We should be able to find the answer for that.
Yep.
So-
No, good concerns. I appreciate you coming in.
No, that's all I need. So,
Thank you.
Thanks, Brandon.
we'll see you guys, take care. Yep, see you.
We'll let you know when, we get him on.
Yeah,
the
I'll do
agenda
it
too.
whenever he's in, right?
Cool.
Yeah, like the rest of them.
Okay. Okay, item 10, approved drainage claims, 49.
Yes, so the 49 claims, there was not actually any invoice claims for work orders and things like that. This 49 claims is the admin fee that gets transferred from the drainage assessments that are collected every year. It is also for outlet fees that are collected during the drainage assessments, as well as any joint drainage assessments that we have to pay out to the controlling counties. So these were technically all part of the amounts that were included in the assessments each year. They are amounts for not only 2024 assessments, but also a few previous years, because we do not move those admin funds until we have the money that is in that account. That way we don't put that fund into a negative balance. So that is all these are. Like I said, they were approved as part of the amounts that were assessed to the districts each year. So this is just putting through the claims to move these funds over to the appropriate accounts and lines that they need to go to.
Okay,
And the amount for all of these,
$94,888.87.
yep, $94,888.87. Was the total amount for all of those.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Any further discussions? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. Okay. Minutes from last meeting.
All right, so the minutes from October 28th, 2024, the Wright County Board of Supervisors met in regular session as trustees of the drainage districts with the following members present: Rick Rasmussen, Dean Clues, and Carl Hugwell. Also present were Betty Ellis, Auditor, Amanda Meyer, Finance Manager, and Courtney Morris, Drainage Administrator. Motion by Hugwell and seconded by Rasmussen to call the meeting to order. Motion carried. Motion by Clues and seconded by Rasmussen to approve drainage claims for payment. Motion carried. Minutes of the previous meeting on October 21st, 2024 were read and approved. There were 4 work orders that were reviewed and approved. Those are listed there. They were for DD 73, DD 76 Main, DD 171, and DD 46-92. 46-92 is a joint district. So we were only able to review that one, and we do not have an MOU with that county as of yet. So we will have to have a joint call that is with Webster County. And I have reached out to her, and I'm just waiting to hear back when they can have that joint call. There were no open drainage invoices needing approval, and motion by Rasmussen and seconded by Clues to adjourn the meeting. Motion carried.
Okay. Any additions, corrections? No, they will stand approved as read. Okay. No drainage work orders, review and sign open drainage invoices.
All right, we have 6 invoices. These are all for brush and weed control that was done by Joe Hara on our brush and weed control contract. We have one for DD 36 lateral 1. He came right in at his estimate of $3,100. He did mention that the willows are looking a lot better. He did state on here that Lake Township Section 13 has some timber that he'd like to take down if the supervisors want to. So that might be something that we need to go and take a look at and see what we have out there. And then we will have to do a work order for any trees that might need to be removed. Next one is for DD 36 lateral 3. He came in right at his estimate of $1,250. His note on here is 2 miles of fields, tight with no roads, went in before and after crop. No other comments on that one.
The next one is DD 36 lateral B. And he came in just below his estimate. His estimate was $2,350 and he came in at 2,200. He did make a comment that, it is decent in Lake Township, section 15 and 16. It has tight, the crop is tight and he went in before and after. The next one is for DD 10. He came in right at his estimate of 3,800. He states that it has some timber in the Norway Township, section 24 and 25. He states he can remove it and burn it if the supervisors want him to. So that might be another one that we need to go and look at. If there is some timber or anything that needs to be taken down, we'll need to do a work order on that if it meets our specifications. Next one is for DD 10 lateral 1. He came in right at his estimate of 1,100. His comment on here is it is out of control in Belmont Township, section 18, where there used to be timber. He said it needs sprayed next year. These districts, they get sprayed every other year. So if that is the case that we need to have this one sprayed again next year, we may need to go out and take a look at this as well.
Have any of these, were they flown with the drone that we could review that way, do you know?
We have a lot that hasn't been flown yet.
Okay.
So most likely it probably hasn't been,
Okay,
but I can review them and double check and see if we have any of these that have been flown.
but every one of these is an open ditch,
Yes,
yeah.
yep. The last invoice we have is for DD 107. He came in right at his estimate of 2,900. His note is Norway Township, section 17, could be sprayed next year also, to get a few spots under control. So that may be another one that we could potentially review.
You want all of us to sign these or just,
No, just you.
okay.
Motion to approve.
There a second?
Second,
Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
so, how about the reviewing where the trees are at?
That'd be nice to get with us or get a drone. I don't know if he does any drone work to,
Have them take pictures and
take
bring them into
pictures
us.
and bring them into us.
Okay.
That'd be the
And
easiest.
even the one where he wants to burn it.
So all the tree ones, the burning, and the ones that he thinks needs to be sprayed again next year.
Yep, I
Okay.
will have some documentation on it. Hey, our next item is 10 o'clock review joint memorandum of understanding with Franklin County and Hancock County. Gonna be joining both of them or just,
We're all joining into the one with Hancock.
okay?
Followed by the pound or hash sign.
You should have a copy of that MOU in your folder.
Once that's where you enter the inbound, put enter 859077777.
One too many, so.
When you go audio people, please enter your audio PIN followed by the pound or hash sign. If you do not have a PIN, just press pound or hash.
Dean, we'll reschedule all this meeting. She had a candidate, we'll reschedule.
Okay, Wright County's on board with you.
We got Franklin and Wright County on, so at this time, we have a video conference with the Wright County Board of Supervisors and Franklin County Board of Supervisors. to discuss and possibly consider signing memorandum of understanding with Wright and Franklin County for joint. Yeah, supervisors to lock Ryman and Rayhouse here. And our drainage clerk, Ann.
On Wright County side, you have Supervisors Hugable, Rasmussen, and Cluse, Auditor Ellis, Supervisor-elect Loops, a member of the public, and Drainage Administrator Courtney Morris.
Franklin, we have, supervisors Lucas, Meyer, McVicker, myself, the mass, our drainage clerk, Colette, and auditor plans. No one from the public.
First of all, Wright County would like to apologize for butting into your meeting and not having video control or audio control. I hope that you muted us as soon as you realized that we were not in control of the situation.
At least you weren't talking bad about it.
Okay.
All right, as far as the memorandum of understanding, any questions or comments or discussion?
I believe that you guys have it before you. We just feel allows each of the boards the flexibility to do work requests or repair orders without having to have a joint meeting. Obviously, if it's something that is irregular, even though it's below the threshold that we've got in here, there's no problem scheduling a meeting. But we just feel that this would allow us to get the work done more expediently for both counties. We've done this with our neighboring counties.
No questions there?
And no questions on Wright County side.
Franklin, no questions here.
Clues from Wright County would make a motion to sign the memorandum of understanding between Hancock County, Franklin County, and Wright County as presented.
Franklin will second that, McVicker. Okay. Got a motion by Wright, second by Franklin. Any discussion?
None for Wright County.
None, Franklin. Okay. Hearing no discussion, all in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye. All ayes, Wright County.
All ayes, Franklin. All ayes, Hancock, motion passes.
Excellent.
Great. Thank you.
You bet, thank you.
Courtney signed our portion of it.
Okay.
Okay, anything else before the board?
And you got us all signed up for the December 6th.
Yep, I'll know tomorrow on mine.
Yep, I'm just waiting on Carl's, and as soon as he lets me know tomorrow, then I will submit all of them.
Yep. Okay.
Sounds good.
And then
Motion to
boards?
approve, or motion to,
We will know the election results by that time. When I was newly elected, I went to the IDDA meeting just as one of those things to get me up to speed
I did
on
too.
what that
I
was.
went to it even though I wasn't officially sworn in, but it's kind of gets your feet wet a little bit.
Yeah, so I would like for the new elected supervisors to be able to attend that meeting also.
I think it'd be a wise idea.
And send them as, the membership rate, at our membership rate.
If they'll allow that, absolutely. I would think that they would
Yeah, I don't know
allow
why they wouldn't allow it.
I'll double check it before we send the check off, just to be
that.
sure.
Okay, so it'd be checking with these two to make sure that their schedule is open and Lynn and then Ashley.
Yeah.
So that we don't pay for something where somebody's not able to go.
Well, it'd be good because the next meeting, they've already been a year in office.
Exactly.
So
Right.
it's,
Yes.
it makes good sense. I know.
Also before we adjourn, if you haven't been informed yet, the railroad has been served now. From that whole ordeal with that work order. We were finally able to, get those paperwork over to them after attempting with the sheriff, and they were unable to serve them. They had to bring on a company, I believe.
It does that
That does
professionally.
that professionally to get the railroad served. I believe that service date was October 14th, if I remember correctly. They have 30 days from that, so they've got about 2 weeks left.
But what that does is that puts them on notice that, and we can do the repair. The question is this has not been challenged in Iowa yet since they changed the rule. That will be one of my questions for Doug Strike at the annual meeting is where does the IDDA stand on backing up a county who's willing to step into the arena and test this law?
Right.
Because that litigation would be borne by the landowners within that drainage district if the IDDA doesn't come in and say, you know, we changed this rule, and we'll back it up. So, I think I know what their answer is gonna be, but anyway, you know, this isn't it's as Dave explained it to us. We can go do, after the 30 days, if they don't come back and respond to us in any way, or they don't repair it, we can go in and do the repairs. I think we still have to comply with all of the railroad right-of-way restriction stuff. But we can do the repair.
If they don't get it
They're
done.
supposed to pay for it, for any costs that we incur.
Right.
But again, that's never been challenged since the rule was changed, so.
Well, the interesting part with this, if we do go in and we go and make the repair and we send them the invoice for the work that was done, but we still have to go through all their hoops and everything, part of that process is submitting that contract, which we had done and we did pay for, but we haven't heard anything back. So getting that response from them on that status would be the next big factor into that.
Right.
To be able to go in and do the work.
Yeah.
Well, Scott.
Okay. Anything? That's the only other thing that I had was, I did, record, the paperwork concerning the resolution 2024-32 concerning, Wright County Drainage District number 107 in response to, the Pogee land bridge. So that was actually recorded, and I will give the official copy of that to Courtney to put in DD 107's, file. Other than that, I would make a motion to adjourn from drainage trustees.
So Ashley, you're on board. I'll go ahead and send you a copy of the agenda for the drainage, and also there is a meeting of the Board of Health for November 13th at 7 AM. It's been changed, but that's the actual date, and there's a Zoom link that you may want to attend also to be probably beneficial for you.
Okay, do you just want to email or text me those?
Yep, I'll do both, and I'll have Sandy go ahead and email you the Board of Health stuff.
Perfect, thank you.
No problem. Motion to adjourn?
Move.
Sorry.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? We're adjourned.
For a second.